And welcome back to Square Off. An Arizona prison inmate in such excruciating pain, he chewed his fingers off. Inmates with cancer going untreated. These cases are coming to light in a federal lawsuit filed on behalf of Arizona inmates. The federal judge overseeing the case tells the state of Arizona's lawyer he's fed up and he might take control of prison health care. I asked Governor Doug Ducey on a recent Square Off whether he's following this case and still supports his prison's director, Charles Ryan. Do you have faith that Chuck Ryan, your director of corrections, can fix this problem? And how concerned are you about what the judge is saying about a healthcare system in prisons that apparently, our prisons that we pay for, taxpayers, that apparently lets inmates die?
I have faith in Chuck Ryan as the director of the Department of Corrections. It does concern me when I think a judge is stepping outside of his role and making these comments and personal comments to a director. Let's let the legal process play out here and we'll deal with it.
So of course, you think the judge is going too far?
Well, let's let the legal process play out.
The governor backing his guy and taking a shot at the judge. Reporter Jimmy Jenkins of KJZZ has covered this case closer than anyone. Welcome to Square Off.
Thanks, Bram.
You sat in on the court hearings in federal court. You heard what Doug Ducey just said there. What's your take on that?
Well, I would say that Federal Magistrate Judge Duncan is doing exactly what his role is. He was agreed to, he was actually chosen, as he told the court recently, by both sides in this settlement that we can talk about. But I would say that, you know, from what I've seen happening in court over the past year, the judge is certainly just doing his job.
And this judge might ultimately have to impose some court control over what's going on in the prisons.
That's right. There's been some question as to whether the numbers that Horizon Health is providing to the state, which the state then vets, are valid and can be trusted. And so the judge is going to have a special hearing, and we're going to hear from all kinds of different witnesses, and he's going to try to figure out whether he can trust that data and whether he needs to maybe appoint an independent monitor to oversee the whole process. Okay,
so let's back this up, because I know many viewers aren't familiar with this. You mentioned Horizon Health there. So why is all this in court right now?
Because this is the result of a settlement, a class action settlement in the Parsons versus Ryan prison healthcare case. It's between the roughly 33,000, 34,000 inmates in Arizona state prisons and the state. The state was found to not be providing adequate health care to these prisoners. And so through the settlement process, they've come to more than 100 performance measures that the state and its subcontractor Horizon are supposed to be meeting, and so that's what they're hashing out in court every month.
And at the same time, there's all this evidence, some of it you have reported, you've discovered, of these inmates in terrible pain or even being left to die.
That's right, and ever since I've been reporting on this case, you just get letters constantly. I know, I'm sure you do, people in the media, we hear from people that are incarcerated quite a bit, but the things that I'm hearing are just simple things, people that just want their cancer medication to not be cut off, people that are afraid they're going to lose limbs, people that have lost toes due to gangrene. It's just things that would shock and horrify the rest of us, the things that these people are asking for.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong here, but from my, listening to your stories, there's kind of a cynical arrangement here. Horizon seems to admit it can't hire the staff to do what it's supposed to do, so it's made a decision to pay a fine that's in the contract.
That's not just my reporting. That's exactly what the judge has discussed openly in court. That's certainly what the plaintiffs are alleging. What everyone has agreed is that there is a huge level of understaffing in these positions at the clinics and the different prisons, and it's leading to the denial of all kinds of health care.
What's the next step in this case?
Well, now because of KJZZ's reporting, the judge has called a special hearing that's going to take place on February 27th to look into these allegations of perhaps Horizon not providing accurate or valid numbers, and the judge is going to make a determination on whether he can continue to trust them or not, and he may appoint an independent monitor.
Which could be very expensive for the state, couldn't it?
Just adding on to the millions and millions and millions of dollars that we're already spending on this. $140 million a year is what we're spending right now on the total population for prison health care.
And not getting good care.
The courts would say no.
Jimmy Jenkins, thanks so much for shining a light on this story.
My pleasure, Bram.
When we come back, we're giving some political outsiders a megaphone to reach voters after they were excluded from campaign events in the 8th Congressional District. But first, the week's soundbites taken out of context.
A secret society, secret meetings offsite of the Justice Department.
Correct.
And you have an informant saying that.
Yes.
This is going to make Watergate look like a kid stealing candy from a store.
I don't know that I read anything into it.
Negotiating with this White House is like negotiating with Jell-O.
Look, what the president did clearly worked.
We kind of gave him, all right, you get a mulligan. You get a do-over here.
Yes, a mulligan. Because marriage is like golf. Both things Trump claims to love but constantly cheats on.
Everybody says he wants to secure the border, so let's do so.
All of a sudden, it seems like he wants funding from a different source.
Who is going to pay for the wall? Canada! Who? Canada! 100%. 100%.
100%. You stuck us with Justin Bieber, and now you're going to pay, folks.